Friday's video in our second master series. This is, I do believe, the 25th video in our second master series and the 7th video on oscilloscopes. Tonight we're going to talk about gain staging. So this is a real simple concept. If you've watched all the videos so far on the oscilloscope, I really hope it's starting to sink in about the project that you have before you. But I'm telling you, in the end, it will help make you that virtuoso master audio engineer. And in your gain staging game, it will definitely help you immensely. The first issue when we run into gain staging issues is we talked about how cycles don't coincide. So sometimes you're going to have jumps and stuff from two different waveforms coinciding at areas that you wouldn't think that they should be, but they are, and causing a jump in harmonic content or in volume level somewhere where, here it's not. Here it's jumping immensely. It's jumping up there a lot. There can be cycles of this sometimes and sometimes not. But it becomes one of those things that as you're gain staging and you have your scopes open to evaluate what's going on, you don't get as simple information as you do from your meters. If you're looking for, sometimes you're looking at peaks, sometimes you're looking at RMS or LUFS, depending on what you're doing. Sometimes you're looking at your scope, like we talked, or your spectrometer, like we talked about. And when we're looking at spectrometers, that's very helpful, and some of the issues you're going to be having. And sometimes your scope, you having your scope open, you can see some information somewhere in the middle to really help your gain staging game. So normally when you're gain staging, I really recommend you have one scope open that's showing a pretty detailed information in there for you to be able to stop in one shot in certain areas that you have looped and you have flags. We talk about every moment in time is important. Looking over that, looking on the scope, looking on your spectrometer, looking on your level meters, to really make sure every moment in time has been addressed to come out with as good a production as possible. And the oscilloscope is immensely helpful in that area. You're seeing along here, you can look at these individual waveforms and you can really see what kind of level changes they have between them. You can really map out and go, well, all of a sudden this one's really spikes up in this area. It's getting a really jump there. Is that causing a problem in this part of this chorus I'm working on, where it's not at the tail end of the chorus? Between this flag and this flag, it's causing a problem. Between this flag and this flag, it's not. And that's a very small amount of time, bro. But I'm telling you, every moment in time is important. So you being able to spot when there's some volume levels changing in very small amounts of time with your spectrometer or with your oscilloscope, and understanding how to read this, that it's going through these cycles, and so many cycles. We've talked about, like, you've got so many cycles that cycle might only be, 6 milliseconds or something like that, or less. When we're talking about mapping out, cycles, that so many of them mapped or put together is going to produce a sound, depending on your sample rate and bit depth and things like that. And so you being able to relate that on your oscilloscope gives you a whole new level meter that's giving you some simpler information than a spectrometer, but more complex information than you're getting from a level meter to help you really target, where you're having issues, to help you make every moment in time at the level it should be, coinciding with other levels, so that when you're mixing together, that they're mixed well together at proper levels that you've decided are proper levels to have them mixed together, and when they're going outside of those boundaries at any given moment. So having one open like this to really be able to find target, when you're having jumps and spikes or whatever is going on, because sometimes you just got little spikes going on that are causing a problem. That if you can attenuate whatever's going on there, some spectral content's causing an issue, to where if you can tame it, that it's going to come out sounding better together. Does that make sense? Which is a huge concept. And one scope open like this, because then let's say I've got this one waveform on here that's showing a really basic waveform. that this is like a guitar hit, ba 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 ba, and and the vocals is on top of it. Na na na, I'm saying my dog's got fleas. Now this is a pretty simple example, but you can see where these are coinciding more together, or where they're getting farther away from each other, where she's getting really loud on top of it. All the issues that you would run into in gain staging in this view here are going to really show themselves over time, so that you're not looking at two tracks like we talked about, how the event on your tracks will show you that information. You've got them laid out on top of each other really well. Look, I've got this big old spike happening here just right there on this guitar hit. That's going to cause a problem more than likely, unless it's some kind of an accent to where I want it to. I might not want it to, but it's showing itself. It's like a big old hairy dog got its head stuck up right there. Right there. Is that a problem? Or it might be doing it over time, or you might see a spike over here, or the vocals are dropping down too far right here where they shouldn't, and you need to do some boosting on them. A dot, da dot, da dot, da dot, da dot, dot. Any gain staging issue that you might be running into to make every moment in time sound as good as possible, that the scope can help point those out. So this is another issue of you getting really used to seeing that. And when you're doing gain staging, a lot of times you don't have to worry so much about all the information that a scope's trying to show you. It's showing you level issues. And you can understand when something is going up or down, that when it's going through its cycle at different levels coming in, when things going through their cycle are going up. And that might not be a problem because it's going through a cycle here. But it might be over a more extended period of time. It might be a problem on this vocal where it's getting way, I've got this vocal going, and let's say that right now I'm mixing in the guitars. So let's say this is a vocal with the harmonies, and right here, this in green is actually 4 tracks of harmonies. Of these people went and they going, ah, and it's this really cool harmony effect. But the guitar is going, ba, ba, ba. Now, when that's happening, that you've got this level problem going on. Now, is that sound good at those levels? Or at this point, do you really need to kick up the levels here on the guitar? Is a little bit too loud. I need to kick it down, then I need to bring it up. And it's okay there. And over here, I need to bring it up some because it's just getting lost into the mix to where it's causing a problem. So I can go on and on and on and on about gain staging issues, and we talked about gain staging a lot in the last Master series, and we've talked about it some in this series, and I don't remember exactly where, but so far I know we have, and we definitely talked about it when we were talking about spectrometers. So it is another huge tool that's giving you that information a little differently. So now when you've got this extra couple monitors or something, or on your iPad or whatever, that you've got more information to help you make better decisions. And you may have not caught this on your spectrometer. You saw on your level meter just bap like that, but in the scope you really saw that issue come out. So this is a mixing issue, a gain staging issue, and possibly a processing issue. You might have to go back. You see these gain staging issues, that's going to cause you to maybe revisit who knows what aspect of your production. This might be a transient issue. You might have to go back and deal with your ADSR on this track, that for some reason you've got a transient, coming through there, that you're going to want to get out some tool and bap, attenuate it. It's a transient problem. Where it might be the same problem here. You look in here and you zoom in here, that this transient here might be coming up too loud, when then this is all way too quiet, but you didn't catch it before. Now you're definitely seeing it, bro. Now you're going, nope, now I can see that big time, and I know that's causing a problem. Then this is real quiet, and I thought it'd be okay, but now it's not okay. So using your oscilloscope and your gain staging is just going to help your game, bro. It's just going to help you take your stuff to the next level, because you're going to really start to understand what you're looking at. as you're going through this and as you start to understand, the information is showing you, and you're seeing the cycles that are showing you levels that are may going to change in certain amounts of time, that you've got this little area here that just between this measure and the end of this measure, you might have 3 flags there, or you might not have never known to put 3 flags there. But now that you're really using this tool in gain staging, and you're going through that aspect of your mixing process, that now you're going, yeah, and I'm putting a flag there and a flag there and a flag there and a flag there, because I've seen it here, I've seen that problem there, I've seen a problem here, I've seen a problem there, and I see a problem there. And then I'm going back and I'm really listening to it. I'm looking at my other meters, my scope, my spectrometer, and blah. No, I can go ahead and get rid of that flag, but no, these 2 flags over here, yeah, that's important in my gain staging game to make this come out sound as great as possible, because that's okay. That right there is flying. It sounds great. Yeah, dude. And I'm thinking about what's getting mixed in next, and that's going to be okay. Or is it not? So, it's also help you look ahead of what's going to be underneath that. Does that make sense? Because now you've got that gone. What's going to be underneath that? And is that going to be okay or not? So, all these issues come into play, and the oscilloscope is going to help you take your abilities as an audio engineer to that next level of being that master audio engineer that you're looking to be. So, really getting into a lot of detail. I'm just trying to point out those simple things so that you can understand that it will be showing you some of those things. It can show you those things if you got 2 scopes open in short amounts of time, so you can really one shot around that one flag that you got right here, that it might be a little bit of an issue, or you're looking at it and all of a sudden you see a spike right around there, so you go back and look at it again and one shot it and go, yep, I've got an issue, or I've got a real drop in volume, or on and on and on, that's just going to take your stuff to that next level, because you are going to catch that stuff rather than it slip through the cracks to where your production would have been bam, bro, through the roof, or it would have been like, nah, change the channel. You know what I'm saying? So it's very true. So just get it in your head that to get used to using it, get used to understanding what you're looking at, so when you're seeing level changes, that you're looking at it here and you're looking at here at the same time, to see when that might be an issue, correlating that between your ears and your spectrometer and your level meters to help take you to the next level in your gain staging game, bro. Peace, hope, love. I hope you enjoyed this video on gain staging, and I will see you in the next video.